Hi there, welcome to yet another lesson. So today we shall be looking at the sources and forms of energy. So now let's take a look at the effect of heat on the change of state of substances. Anything that gives us energy is known as a source of energy. Some sources of energy cause objects to move. Some cause objects to make sound, some cause objects to give light, and some also cause objects to produce heat. So in this lesson, we are going to look at heat as a form of energy. So today we'll be looking at heat as a form of energy. So when you touch something hot, you feel the heat or you get burnt. You got burnt because heat energy from the hot pan was transferred to your hand. Heat is a form of energy that travels from a hot substance to a cool or a cold substance. Heat is measured in joules, which is represented by the symbol J or capital J. So now let's look at some sources of heat energy. So any material or object that produces heat can be termed as a source of heat. Any material or object that produces heat can be termed as a source of heat. So now let's look at some examples of sources of heat. So we have the heat from the sun, we have heat from an electric iron, we have heat from a gas oven, we have heat from a gas stove, we have heat from firewood, and then we have heat from the coal pot. So heat from the sun, heat from an electric iron, heat from an oven, heat from a stove, heat from a firewood, and then heat from a coal pot. Alright, so let's take a look at the effect of heat on some state of substances. So substances can be solid, liquid, or gaseous in nature. Some examples of some solids are shea butter, candles, ice, bread, and sugar. Some examples of liquids are water, soft drinks, oil, kerosene, and then petrol. The state of these substances can change when they come into contact with heat. Solid and liquid substances can change from one state to another by either gaining heat or losing heat. For example, when you put ice block down for some time, the ice block will melt to become water. Is this true or not? You bear with me that it is indeed true. What do you think caused the ice block to melt? Right, it is heat. So heat caused the ice to melt and then change into water. So when a substance is heated, the shape, the size, and the quantity of the substance changes. For example, when you put water on fire, what happens? Is there any difference in the quantity of the water before boiling it and after boiling it? So you realize that after boiling your water, the content or the amount of water reduces. Also, when you melt shea butter, is there any difference in the shea butter before and then after melting it? So now let's look at the effects of heat. So heat energy causes substances to evaporate. heat energy causes substances to evaporate. Evaporation is the process by which water changes to gas by application of heat. When evaporation occurs, the quantity of water reduces. So we can demonstrate this process by boiling water and then observe what actually happens. Also, heat causes substances to condense. Do you know that water vapor can be turned back into water through loss of heat? Well, how do we go about this? We can do this through a process called condensation. So condensation is the process by which gas or water vapor changes to liquid through the loss of heat. So condensation is the process by which gas or water vapor changes to liquid through the loss of heat. Let's take a look at another effect of heat on substances. So heat causes substances to change from solid to liquid. So when an ice, a candle wax or shea butter is heated, the heat causes these solid substances to change from their solid state to liquid state. The process by which solid changes to liquid is called melting. So the process by which solid changes to liquid is known as melting. Alright, so today we talked about heat as a source of energy and then the effects of heat on some substances. Alright, so this brings us to the end of the lesson.